Okay, this is the fourth time I've tried to film this video. Hey. Day 1, I had no idea what I was talking about and literally made no sense. Day 2, I made sense, but I didn't open up enough. Day 3, kind of like a mixture of both. I hope this one goes up. I hope you're watching this one. Okay, and let's begin. November 27th, 1999. Scratch that. Okay, this is the story of how I got to the point where I'm not going to college. Just saying I'm not going to college just sounds like it's a heart-crushing phrase to say to your parents. This is the story of changing. How high school, from the beginning to the end, really shaped my decision, what I want to do for the rest of my life, kind of thing. My middle school doesn't have a designated high school. All the kids from my middle school go to like different high schools. Like a small percentage went to my high school and I went to Burlingame High School. The biggest part about going to high school was the fact that I didn't have a lot of people that I knew. When I first got there, I just had the friends that I knew from sports and from my old school. I like meeting new people now, but as a freshman, I was a little bit more timid and shy. Might be surprising, but I was. This is really where this whole journey takes place, where it really starts, like where I really decide like what I want to become. When I was a freshman, I started an Instagram. This Instagram was separate from my, I guess you can call it private now, was just for friends, you know? So I made this second Instagram where I could post anything I wanted. I could really be myself on this Instagram. I guess I was just super insecure about myself because I was so insecure that I made a separate Instagram account where I could post stuff that I really just didn't want to show anybody. I remember going to school and just hoping no one found it when I made it. So I made it freshman year and I was just hoping no one found this Instagram account. It's the Instagram account that I use now, which is funny. I was super insecure and super ashamed of skating and pursuing like social media at all. At the time, no one really wanted to become a YouTuber and I just didn't like being called a skater. Since the day I started skating, I never liked being called a skater. I didn't like the stigma and stereotypes that came with it. Let's say my mom or grandma introduces me to someone new, like a family friend. I hated the question the family friend would ask my mom, "What does Kelly do?" And then she would reply, "Oh, he does this, and he skateboards as well." And then they would always ask, because skateboarding was probably the most exciting thing on that list, the family friend would ask, "Oh, so do you skateboard a lot?" Or, "Oh, so you're a skater?" And I always go, "Sometimes." I didn't like to be categorized and I really just wanted to be known as myself, which is impossible because yourself is what you do. There was like 3 good friends that I skated with that went to the school that were in my grade, and then all the rest of the skaters that were in like upperclassmen, they kind of fit that stereotype. I wanted to make myself seem as normal as possible. I didn't want the stigma that I usually felt like I got. I kept it enough under the radar that most people didn't know what I did, kind of thing. That's probably why I didn't make as many friends freshman year as I should have. Basically was scared of getting teased for being myself. So I go through high school and it's super typical. Classes, APs, regulars, thinking about college, stressing about your parents not accepting you, having teachers ask you about your 2 older brothers who were very good students. I basically lived in the shadow for a while and, you know, experimented with a lot of bugs in biology and took the SAT. I got a on it. You thought I'd say it. Then I get to junior year. Junior year was the realization that I wanted to make videos, be an online influencer or whatever. I remember with my friend Luke, I'd always go into first period or whatever period it was. We'd always talk about it and say like, hey, we're gonna blow up one day. Hopefully that dream still happens. One day we'll blow up. The reason I felt like my growth was stunted? The reason I felt like my growth was held back was because not school, but soccer. I've never really discussed this, but soccer is literally in my veins. Like, soccer is literally my family. Like, honestly, I'm looking in the future, I feel like my kid will probably be pretty raw at soccer. I don't know why. All my siblings play soccer. My parents played soccer. Literally, look, I'm literally wearing a soccer shirt. Both my brothers played college soccer, and this one went pro. Manchester United, Barcelona, Lionel Messi. It's part of who I am. From the day I was born to like 16, 17, soccer. Just soccer. It molded who I am, so I'm super grateful for that. Deciding to quit playing soccer was probably the hardest decision of my life. It literally tore my relationship apart with my family almost for a second. The one thing that we all did was soccer, and I stopped. Oh, this was like the biggest... It was the biggest heartbreak to my mom. I tried to quit playing soccer for 2 years straight. I'd ask every once in a while to my mom, and we'd late night start crying with each other, and then it'd always end up with me going like, "It's fine. I want to keep playing. I'm sorry." It got to the point where it was clear that when I'd come home from practice or go to practice, I was just miserable. I just didn't want to do it anymore. It got to the point where I only get one life. I had to do what I wanted to do, fight for what I wanted. Honestly, I'm so glad my mom was so harsh on me about quitting. And I know my mom's watching this, so shout out, Ma. You know, we have our differences, but It's all love in the end. Quitting soccer was honestly the hardest thing emotionally. It wasn't a tough decision for me because I knew what I wanted to do so badly. Because I was held back, it made me want it even more. So now I'm more driven than I am ever. I'm so thankful now that I'm in the position that I can do whatever I'd want. Some of you might be thinking, that sounds a little over the top for just a silly sport or something like that. But you have to consider that I was playing at the highest level. At one point, I was training with the national team a little bit. I was on track to go to college and play soccer there. I mean, if my brother could go play pro, then I definitely could. Now that I'm older and more mature, I understand more why she made me show that I really, really wanted to pursue something else. At the end of the day, I had to... What the fuck? At the end of the day, I had to do what I needed to do to pursue what I wanted to do. It wasn't even kinda, it was a YOLO moment. I feel YOLO is an underrated term. Now we're at senior year. First semester, I'm giving a pretty good amount of effort on my grades because I'm still thinking about college. Second semester grades were garbage. Second semester, I almost thought I wasn't gonna graduate because I had so many lates, almost an F. It was so bad. I mean, you guys know I was jumping out windows. It was good times. That year I submitted applications for college, and honestly, some of them I still haven't even opened. I'm so sure that I want to do this. I want to take a year off before I make the decision to go to college, because to me, college does sound fun. If I didn't find my passion in something that I really wanted to do, then I definitely would go to college because first of all, you know, in college you got freedom, dorms, freedom again, parties, girls, parties, and then a little bit of homework. For me, if I went to college, it would have been a lot of fun, and I still might go. So I'm taking this gap year. Honestly, it might turn into a gap year, and it might not. I might take this gap year and maybe see no need for college, or I might see need for college. I like this gap year because it gives me this amount of time to fully work on my craft, and at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, at least I know I tried. When I'm 120, sitting on the porch with my wife, talking, while she's eating orange peels, I never want to say that I regret not trying something in life. So this gap year is a risk, but I'm gonna take it so I don't regret it in the future. If you're going through something like this, do what you think is best. That's all you can do. If you enjoyed this video, I'll be posting 3 times a week, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. It's always a good time. Deuce.
On me, oh my, let's kill some time. That's cool, alright.